Hey, what's going on, everybody? I want to thank this week's sponsor, the band American Thrills, for allowing us to play their brand new single, Regular Blokes, on the show, which you're listening to right now.
We made a lot of regrets that summer and we're taking them to our graves. We were the punks, your mother.
American Thrills is a punk rock band from Milford, Connecticut, featuring members of the Tired and True and Shut Up and Deal. They formed during the pandemic, and they're already working on a new EP that's releasing later this year. But again, the song you're listening to right now, Regular Blokes, is available right now on all streaming platforms. You'll be able to hear the song in its entirety at the end of the show, so make sure to stick around and check out our show notes, reminiscentpodcast.com/episode/198, to find all of their links everywhere on the internet that you can find this band. Thank you again so much to American Thrills. You'll be hearing more from them later. But for right now, let's start the show.
Do you think you can just sit here and tell me that you could land a triple Lindy, dude?
I'll land a triple Lindy on your mom's face.
Oh my God, you leave her out of this, you monster.
I'm sorry, Mary. You're such a sweet
no,
lady.
you take that shit back. You don't even joke about that sort of thing. Or do whatever you want. Anyway, we're talking about, weirdly, the movie Back to School from 1986, starring Rodney Dangerfield and Sam Kinison and Robert Downey Jr., among others, today. But only because one of our favorite music videos of all time pays homage to it rather heavily. Want to start the show? You just want to get into it?
Yeah, let's just get into it. I'm stoked, man. One of my favorite songs, one of my favorite music videos.
Whoa, wait a minute. Better than any examples you'd like to list now for the shock value?
I think it's probably, it's definitely maybe even top 3 favorite music videos, probably top 10 favorite songs of all time. I'll leave it at that.
That's high praise. That's my version of Andy Samberg's Nick Cage impression. That's high praise. Right. Yeah, I f***ed it up. All right, start the show. Run it.
What is going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
And I'm Pat.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent Podcast. All right, so we are going back into the fart punk, back into the happy fun times.
Champs. We're so deep in the vault of Tom's moving. I've lost all concept of time. We're both working out of our own docs for this show.
Right.
Nothing is real, but we're cherishing beloved fart punk music videos while we are prepping not to record again until mid-December, potentially. No, we'll record when we're in that cabin in North Carolina in a few weeks here, but we are working farther ahead than we ever have. We're finally getting to some of your fan names. I think we grouped a few of the darker entries. So let's pretend like we're just starting the show. Welcome. I don't know. Is this supposed to be a Marin thing? I don't know. But welcome to our Remin-infomaniacs, our nocturnal reminisctions, and our Remin-necrophiliacs. You guys thought Reminasties was bad, so I don't know what the hell you guys are doing with some of these. There's a whole batch that we'll do, I guess, in a couple weeks or a few weeks. Again, no track of time technically, because I don't know when this will air, where it was just like pretty basic household items like Remin-neckties. So I just wanted to lump all the very disturbed ones together and get them out of the way. And we don't have to touch it again for the rest of the episode, quite honestly. But we do appreciate the participation. I don't know if we'll stick with any of those 3. Maybe one will prevail. Maybe it's not a good fit. I'm not sure. But Tom and I have made a decision to read them all as they come in. So, the list is long. What was the one recently we were like? Oh, Reminisces and Remin-nephews, I think, is like the prevailing champion. It's feel good. It's tough easy to feel good for or good about. A lot easier than Remin-infomaniacs, for example. Just going to say that out loud. Okay. This video, I don't know. Do we have fast facts? We're working out of separate talks. We're going blind. We're deep in the vault. How are you feeling? We just did 2 yesterday. How are you feeling? It's been less than 24 hours since we did this a lot yesterday as well.
I'm exhausted. We're recording this on October 21st.
When your eye glitches, you get a little little tweak going. That's how much screen time I've been soaking in between this and some classes I've been taking recently. So it's I'm definitely going to need a digital detox at some point, but we're doing this for you.
We've recorded 7 episodes in 9 days, I think. Just like insane amounts of recording.
Well, the one episode we did about the Postal Service was like in the process of back cataloging really early preps for your move. But that was like 2 weeks after the news about the mail-in ballots and the Postal Service was getting even happening.
Right.
So we were 2 weeks late, making references to old fires that had since gone out and new fires had sprung up, referencing viral videos that are 2 weeks late and everything like that. So I think while we're deep in the vault, we have made a decision to really, really, really not reference anything that's happening. Some of this Twitter interaction stuff is from months ago. It's a dark place, but you're here, we're grateful for it. And I'm excited to talk about Sum 41, a band we should probably talk about like a lot more.
Oh yeah, I'm shocked we haven't done much because I think they're like the reigning music video champs. Like all of them are just great. like they were perfect for the time. For the most part, they hold up. In Too Deep is one of my favorites of all. I could have done this episode and talked about it shot for shot without prepping, but I still watched the video like 20 times today, sang along to everything.
It's an easy watch. It's a feel-good watch.
Yeah, there's not like much story. It's linear, so we're not doing
there's a story.
Christopher Nolan stuff.
There's
like
a
last
story,
week.
my guy. Yeah, I mean,
There is a story.
It's not as weird as the We the Kings one where there's like a timeline issue. Yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward, like no jocks versus jocks diving competition.
Sure, sure.
But there's definitely a story that pays homage, like we mentioned, to a pretty weird 80s comedy starring Rodney Dangerfield. Do you mind if I just read the plot real quick? Because it's pretty bizarre. Sure. And we'll talk about later how the video, the final dive is actually like a direct recut of the scene pretty much at the end of the movie that Rodney is diving. He's like an old man as he is diving for the college he's attending because he goes with his son. I'll just read it. Because I guess my point here is they filmed at the same location, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess I am connecting dots that the band was at least familiar with the movie, if not a beloved favorite of theirs, perhaps. I'm just guessing. I don't know how big the film grossed in Canada. It's tough to say. But Back to School, 1986 American comedy film starring Rodney Dangerfield. Also in the movie, Sam Kinison, Robert Downey Jr., among others. Those were just some names I wanted to pull. Plot centers around a wealthy but uneducated father, Dangerfield, who goes, basically this is his character from Caddyshack, by the way, who's just, I'll go to college, f*** it, I'm rich, who goes to college to show solidarity with his discouraged son, Jason, and learns that he cannot buy an education or happiness. Deep. Author Kurt Vonnegut has a cameo as himself. What? As does the band Oingo Boingo. What? Whose frontman Danny Elfman composed the score for the film. What? The University of Wisconsin-Madison was used as the backdrop for the movie. I hear that's a cool town. Although it was called Grand Lakes University. Great Lakes University? Get the f*** out of here. Okay. The diving scenes were filmed at the since demolished Industry Hills Aquatic Club in the city of Industry, California. Interesting. Not even in Wisconsin. The competition scene was parodied in the music video for Canadian rock band Sum 41's 2001 single, In Too Deep. That's what we're all here talking about. Before the end credits, the message "For Estelle, thanks for so much" is shown in dedication to Estelle Endler, one of the executive producers of the film, who died during production. Very sad. She was Dangerfield's longtime manager who helped him get into films such as Caddyshack, etc., etc. Anyway, I felt that was fitting to read just because I think we might as well just say it now. When the drummer goes up for one of the final dives, and we'll get there, but he even does some armpit farts and stuff, which is, Dangerfield's just being a goof, true to form when he goes up for his final dive. Jumping in between, obviously not something that would score well in competition, just going from the various diving boards that are like available to the diver, just farting out of your armpits, just jumping around, and then comical close-ups on the actor, and then wide shots of like, obviously an Olympic athlete doing these stunts, which to the credit of Sum 41, they stayed very true to, just some like tongue out, look at me diving. One of the ones, Derek Mobley, is that his name? No, sorry.
Wibbly,
my bad. Just his arms aren't even straight. He's just like reaching. I don't know. Some of the close-ups are just bring me a special kind of delight. I want to say that this song, you know how it's good, Tom? You know how I know it's great?
How do I know it's great?
It appears on the Cheaper by the Dozen soundtrack, which I talk about all the time because that shit is banging. I'm still trying to figure out a way to do a Desert Island episode where we pick 5 of Desert Island albums, but they have to be movie soundtracks. I think that's maybe possibly how we're going to get to the movie soundtrack episode because we talk about Jennifer's Body, we talk about Spider-Man 2, all that stuff, Nick and Nora, etc., etc. But Cheaper by the Dozen would be my number 1 pick, guaranteed if we do that. Anyway, let's get to the video, or you got some fast facts?
I've got a couple facts here.
Okay,
so
cool.
The album itself, All Killer No Filler from 2001, produced by Jerry Finn, who played a huge role in Blink-182. He produced Enema, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, some of Self-Titled, and Neighborhoods. Hop has dubbed him the 4th member of Blink-182, and this is around his height. So Sum 41's working with one of the best producers out there. Also did stuff for Green Day. I thought that was cool. The video.
You see the news today that What's My Age Again was inspired by Green Day in some way? I missed it because it just came on Twitter. I just saw it a little bit before we pressed record, but I think Hoppus did some interview where he revealed that Green Day was somehow loosely behind What's My Age Again, which pretty interesting.
I can't believe those two bands like toured together and people got to see that show. My God.
I know. I remember watching Homestar Runner videos at your house in Wesleyville, watching like kind of a From the Road tour doc that was only like 20 minutes or something, like a mini
It was
doc.
like riding in vans with boys or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And my favorite joke from that was, and we'll get back to the Sum 41 episode soon, I promise everybody. They all show up and like, hey guys, I know it's been a while since you've toured. I just wanted to let you know who's in the band. And they show like a cardboard cutout of the 3 of them, but the 3 of them are standing right there. This is Mark, this is Tom, and over here we have Travis. He's your relatively new drummer for this tour, okay? Like just pretty funny stuff. Anyway, Sum 41 was working with some Blink peeps. That's interesting.
Right. Jerry Finn, who absolutely legendary producer. The video was directed by
Is that a good producer name? It sounds like a good producer
Jerry
name
Finn?
to me. Should we start addressing that? Was it
Is that a
Alan
good
Ferguson
producer?
was the music video director for We the Kings? Should we start judging music video producer and actual producer names?
Yes.
Jerry Finn sounds like somebody who'd like pop up in a like Apple Music ad later, talking loosely about some Jay-Z he did, but then like really it's just a 4-part documentary where Eminem talks about it, and then it's eventually just like a ad for Apple at the end, weirdly.
Well, speaking of Eminem, let me talk about some of the videos, other acts that Mark Glassfield,
For sure.
the video director, has directed. We have Alien Ant Farm, Smooth Criminal, which you've talked about, Jay-Z, Ludacris, Nelly, D12, In Sync, Bon Jovi,
Go crazy.
Foo Fighters, Jewel, Destiny's Child, Slipknot, Backstreet Boys, Simple Plan. He did Untitled and Crazy. And then he just blows up later on and he's working with Ozzy Osbourne, more Bon Jovi, Jojo Siwa. This guy's doing huge videos now. He did the See You Again music video with Wiz Khalifa, all kinds of shit. But he's been working with Sum 41 seems like one of his first clients, and it's kind of cool. Also Insane Clown Posse, can't leave them out. So
It's just one of those days. That's not Insane Clown Posse. I just meant to say it a few seconds ago. Never mind. Sorry, everybody. How Do Magnets Work, I think, would have been the appropriate reference.
So, like you mentioned, the diving scenes were shot at the same place that the movie Back to School took place in, Industry Hills Aquatic Center, which has been recently demolished, which would be so fun for a pop punk landmark tour. But the empty pool that they perform in is at Cadillac Jack's Motel in LA. Sounds like an upstanding establishment. I would like to visit that sometime. And this is something that I recently found out that's really cool. Their videos always seem so like fun and organic, and in the We the Kings episode, I kind of talked about some of the people in the background look like they're having fun, but maybe not the kind of dancing you would expect to see at a show. But all of the fans in the Sum 41 videos are actual fans that they have come hang out with them on set, which is really cool. Everyone seems so hyped, and I think it makes for, like I said, a much different experience than some of the performance-based videos that we've been talking about lately. I just think it's cool I also can't believe how many fans show up for this video. My God.
Well, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but there's a shot, the first wide shot, there's two dudes just straight up strangling each other,
Oh my
which is, I'm glad you said that because I'm like, are these actors or desperate extras?
Right.
Did they do some sort of competition where people waited outside to get in for free? Because those dudes were straight up, like comically, like full physical comedy, like Simpsons strangle mode when the wide shot was happening, which adds to the video, I think, or the mood of the crowd being super goofy. At one point, there's just a sign where the word jocks is crossed out, like a no smoking sign, just like no jocks. So I'm glad you gave some insight on that because it's pretty riotous crowd.
Yeah. I mean, I would do anything to be in that crowd, but everyone's there just like really having fun. Really, I mean, those dudes were like fighting for some camera attention. And I think it's so funny. It's so 2001. Just two dudes like, choking each other. But, oh man, what a video. We haven't even started talking about it yet. But I do want to give... I want to give one quick anecdote real quick. Anecdotes!
Anecdotes. Buckle up, soldier.
These anecdotes are
Damn.
I'll have to bleep that one out yet again.
Oh, damn. Okay. I thought we were just like going to reference a joke that no one would have heard the last time we said it. So even if you didn't bleep it, well, now you should, I don't know.
Anyways, so our band, Four Under Par, loved covering Blink-182, Green Day, Sum 41, all that stuff. And I remember this is around the time when I was living on the East Side, probably later into our band's career. And we were like really, really fighting to just last minute add this song to one of our sets like that day. And we ended up not doing it because Adam didn't know the guitar solo yet. And
how could he? It's right on short notice.
Right. And I mean, I don't know if like tab websites were really that good back then, but eventually he learned it. And I keep remembering like there kept being some reason why we couldn't do it. I don't know if Zach couldn't hit one of the notes or like I couldn't get one of the harmonies or something, but something always kept us from covering this song. And it's like the one song I've wanted to cover my entire life. I've never done it to this day. And I feel like it'll always haunt me. So when I hear this song, I think about us in the basement.
Yeah, Adam was the ultimate technician. I guess we could talk about the solo later more in depth, but
sure.
Yes, Adam would have been the one of the four of us to take the time to do it. So that doesn't shock me at all to you kind of recall that. I think once he would have learned it, he probably would have brought it back up to be like, hey guys, so we going to do it? Because I learned this. So I have a feeling... I feel comfortable clearing Adam of any fault on that front.
Oh, sure.
For
sure.
sure.
Yeah, totally. I'm not sure what the deal was. But...
Oh, no, yeah. I'm not saying you were wrong. I'm trying to think through it. Like, that leaves us three. Dun, dun, dun. The glass shattered from the inside. There's no way someone came out. Little callback if you're really listening to that in depth. Tom and I were joking about something yesterday in a pod that is either a callback or a call forward. Oh, my God.
It's a callback.
We're too deep in the vault. Okay. Okay. So this is one of the great music video examples of a band playing a different hit as they walk up to the scene. Other famous, I'm not going to do like a long list, but favorites of ours, Bowling for Soup, Girl All the Bad Guys Want, Fall Out Boys, Dance Dance does this as well. I think we've established on the show that it's a power move. And I think when we've talked to other examples about it, we often reference In Too Deep as like the main thing that we hold in our brains is like, yeah, they're playing flat lip in the car as they drive up. And then they go past the sign to the pool that straight up says high noon. That's like when the diving meet starts, which I think is pretty funny. Like at a public pool, just talking like it's the Old West. I just thought that was hilarious. Like a small, subtle, joke that I laughed. Like you don't talk like that in real life, I guess is right. Like if I was like, hey Tom,
Right.
what time you want to go tomorrow? High noon Eastern or Mountain?
Woo!
High noon Mountain or high noon Central? Anyway,
I knew
it just doesn't
Central. So I also want to mention though, in the Fat Lip music video, they start off the video with the What We're All About song. So this band,
Silicone Master,
they do that a lot. And I love it. I love it every time.
I 100% agree. Because it speaks to them. Does it speak to them as musicians that they were able to walk into a gas station and like do a little beatbox performance? I think it does. I think they're a group of dudes that can do some things. I don't know. Put some respect on the name. Okay. Thoughts on, you ready for this? We're just going to start asking questions.
All
Is
right.
that all right? Thoughts on the dudes that were strangling each other in the crowd. Let's just go back to that real quick. Thoughts on fart punk music videos in general. Are you okay with the vibe of this video just overall? I know the answer is yes, but can you just talk about, for those who are just joining us, what fart punk even is through our lens of this show? I don't know if I would take credit for the phrase, but maybe. But thoughts on just the comedy of fart punk, the comedy of the music videos of fart punk.
I think it's really easy to like overdo it. Like, I think there's times where Blink, thinking of the rock show, when they're in that tiny room in the fisheye and Mark's just like kicking his legs around and it's so like, it's easy to get a little carried away with it. Although I do love that video, but I think I feel weird using the word integrity, but like they have the comedy. It is slapstick, but it's not over the top. I don't know.
Is there a Canadian sensibility to like I think there's
Maybe.
I've heard like Canadian comics on Mark Maron's pod and all that talk about how like just living in Canada has like an inherent hilarity to the existence. You know what I mean? Like in certain respects, depending on where you grew up in Canada. So like you kind of have a natural, I guess, sarcasm or wit that kind of just is kind of boiled into you, or you grow up into it or whatever. Also, I don't think every band can pull it off. And I think Sum 41 walking into that gas station and doing that and just kind of wooing the cashier with their beatboxing is, even if the beatboxing wasn't technically good, I don't think that's the real point. The real point is they were, like, even the drummer himself is kind of like, they all have an identity. They all do something well. They work well together as a group, sum of all parts type thing. And we make fun of fart punk because of the bad examples, but this was firing on all cylinders in terms of this is the right band to pull off the best version of what a fart punk music video would be. Silly, goofy, people in the audience strangling each other. Thumbs up, I think, from all of us, and I think we already established that earlier, but I just wanted to like revisit the concept of because at this point, I'm not sure who listens regularly and who's just joining us, so I didn't want to just toss around fart punk without kind of adding some context to, I think New Found Glory and Blink-182 and some of those other bands are kind of what we kind of, that type of humor in those videos from the 2000s we talk about. But just wanted to set that straight. And if you didn't have any more to add, I did have another very important question to follow up on.
Sure.
Using pools for stuff that isn't swimming, like shows or skateboarding. Thoughts?
I love it. It's always a good move. I don't think it ever gets old. I've always wanted to do a show in a pool. I'm sure the acoustics would be dog shit, but it would be fun.
That's a good point from the audio engineer himself. Underrated movie and documentary combo, Lords of Dogtown. I think Netflix had both the fictional version and the actual documentary version but people that were just trying to hit the rim of the pool very simply in the birth of skateboarding. Very interesting. Shows, you're right, the acoustics might be a little tougher. But you know what? I'll go out and say it. I think pools are great for the swimming as well. I think that's the hottest take I've ever released on this show. Pools are just a nice thing to have around, I guess. JK. Okay. Can I ask you one last quick question before I ask you more questions as we go down the list?
Yeah, but are we going to do the video too, or?
Yeah, we're already there. We did the crowd shot. Well, we'll talk about the diving teams next, but there have been establishing shots of them in the pool, a different pool, a smaller pool. And I just need to ask you about some more wardrobe before we set up what the actual like narrative of the video is.
Ooh, okay.
I don't need to. I just want to. Thoughts on having shorts so long that they meet the tops of the long socks you're also wearing, like the basis in this video.
It's so 2001, man. I could never do it. I would never want to, but I love seeing it. Would you? I'm halfway up the calf, or I'm halfway up the thigh kind of guy when it comes to my shorts. I like a real short. So
yeah, the inseam has become an internet talker as of late, but you've always been I'm ready to show what I've got type guy when it comes to shorts. So to your credit, you've been real since day one. I think we've joked on the show before where one of our friends called me normcore once, and I got pissed because that shouldn't be a thing if you are. But I don't know if I would have gone that intense in any direction fashion-wise, if you even want to call it fashion. So probably just shorts that were at Kohl's. I don't know. Mary was, we've already referenced her once on the show, but whatever was in the drawer was probably going to get worn. Not really, not making too many statements, I don't think. But I do enjoy seeing it because like, oh yeah, man, we talk about how sunglasses have been on a wild ride. The length of shorts. If we want to include pants, jean coats, there's been some things that have happened to aliens listening to this 80 years later. Only 80. I'm only giving us 80 before it all burns. A lot to unpack there. Okay, yeah, let's get to the video.
All right, so
we're further into the video.
Well, I do want to establish a couple things, right? So they get out of the car, it pans over to the sign, diving competition at high noon, and it keeps panning around. Almost, it seems like a seamless shot, and the band is now in Sum 41 very plush bathrobes. And I wrote, I'd like 2 for Christmas, please. They are so cool. I did a lot of
You know what's
digging.
funny is we are legit working out of different docks. One of my notes is, can you buy me a Sum 41 robe for Christmas?
Dude.
No joke.
Best friends. I looked everywhere, and these robes do not exist, nor have they ever.
Man.
We might have to hand embroider our own.
It's a damn shame. Yeah, good thing we took that embroidering class. Of course we're not going to do that. It would be cool, though. Okay. Quick notes. Drummer is A, very white. B, the motion he does when they're introduced to the very jockey tan,
Oh my!
might I say sexually confused competitors / villains, but not really villains. They're just talented divers.
They're just on the other team.
Yeah, he is pale force level pale, like if you remember the Conan, Jim Gaffigan sketches from early Conan stuff. But he does the who, me, nah thing when he's just like very, very animated, very cartoonish kind of throughout, which much appreciated.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I always thought that part was really funny, and I noticed when he has his hands up in the air, he has a 41 tattoo on the back of his arm, and apparently the whole band does. And
nice.
We had made jokes in the past about getting a 4-Up tattoo.
Never.
The 7-Up logo, but with a 4. Pat, come on. We're all going to be in a cabin together.
Yeah.
Let's just head down
It's
to
gonna be
the
like the
tattoo
Parent Trap.
shop.
You're going to put an apple behind my ear and pierce my
Yep. Stick
We're
and
going to
poke
realize
tattoos,
we're siblings
baby.
somehow. You know, I was thinking about that. If we like, I know we're not siblings, but like, and it'd be different from Jack White and Meg White because there was like, are they married? Are they siblings? I know it'd be different for us, but like, what if we were siblings? But we're not, so it wouldn't work as well. But like, what if we were? I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway.
what if we were?
I have no idea. Yeah, probably not. But I like where your head's at. Just being super non-committal forever about everything. Oh, that's a great idea. So you're going to get one? Oh my God, this is good. I don't know, actually. I'd have to, new topic. Thoughts on the Olympics?
Good, but devastating for the cities they take place in, right?
Oh, whoa. Wow, nice. I have no
Anyways.
rebuttal. On a less serious note, thoughts on diving as an Olympic event in general?
You know, I remember my stepsister.
Damn, well said. I didn't expect that answer. That's terrific.
My stepsister did like swimming. I don't know, one of the races, and I used to.
Yeah.
I feel like I went to those competitions every weekend, and I was playing
100 butterfly, I think she did.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. Why would I know that?
And I do remember playing like Wario World, Super Wario on my Game Boy Color, but I loved the diving competitions. I always loved watching those. And I love diving. I think it's so cool.
There's something very like, you know, on the internet now it's called like oddly satisfying, like r/oddly satisfying or whatever.
Right.
But there is something pleasing like to the senses about someone just disappearing into a body of water with as little splash as possible, just like a bloop.
Oh, I'm more into the flips.
Oh, the flips are great too. Tony Hawk generation, for sure. But to me, it's like if they actually pull it off and it's just like they just slip into the water, I'm like, oh God, where the did they go? Did they actually do it? Did they disappear from this realm? You know, I don't know. It's cool. I think what I'm saying is diving is the best. I love Olympics and people who are good at things, and diving is like, oh yeah. Okay.
Something that I really loved about the video is when the Olympic divers come out, they're like jacked bodies of gods, right? And the crowd is just fucking booing them so hard.
Yes. What I didn't love about the video was they made them like sexually confused individuals, which I thought was rather unnecessary. They could have just been jocks that were good at their job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's one where the one like slaps the other's butt, like, yeah, go for it. And he's like, wait, should I like this? And they're like, yeah, I think we do. And it's like, okay, did we need, like, I guess it was 20 years ago, but like, I don't know. Could have done without that personally.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. See,
I don't know if I'm reading too deep, but there was a couple butt slaps where it's like, all right, they could just have been jocks. You know what I mean? They didn't have to be. You know what I mean?
So what I thought when I saw that is there was a butt slap from the jocks, and I do remember my stepdad was very into football, and anytime that we did any kind of activity, he would just slap the guys' butts, and I was always like, okay, that's just a sports thing, I guess. I don't get it, but if it's their thing, let them have it.
See, I guess through the lens of fart punk, I thought they were like trying to be like, let's beat the gay diving champions. It's like, I wasn't sure if that's what they were trying to go for as like a 2001 thing. I might be reading too deeply into it. They might have just been like woke about it. I don't know. But anyway.
I mean, I'm sure there was an element of that was part of the joke, but something that I did think was kind of funny is when the diving team did it, it was just like, slap the ass, hey, go for it, bud. And then when one of the Sum 41 members goes up, he tries the butt slap, and the guy's like, what the f-? Like, just like wasn't expecting it. And I thought it was funny because like, I thought the butt slap was just a sports thing. Clearly Sum 41, they're not sports guys, so they were confused by it.
Well, I guess the reason I say this is like, we were recently talking about Simple Plan, another fine Canadian act, and how their new guy, their music video for I'm Just a Kid that is tied in with the new guy. That movie starts off with a joke about a breaking around a corner and peeing around a corner and even in the First Date music video, Blink-182, they're going down a water slide and there's a pervy slapping lifeguard and stuff. So it's like not beyond the fart punk music video joking genre to so I just wasn't sure if they were like, they didn't lean into it too hard, but I wanted to go like, I don't know, they could have just been good at diving.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. It wasn't necessary, but
Anyway, but what I do love is they do lean more heavily into the no jocks thing. Again, the sign that's just like jocks, circle line through it. Like if anybody was curious, we're anti-jocks. We are here for Sum 41 for sure. They even got the robes. Gotta love it.
So Derek is the first one to dive for the band, right? And he does the back handspring, ton of flips. I don't know, like the people that they got to do it, I thought looked enough like them. They had similar hair. They were just as pale, but it's kind of a cool dive. You got a couple like back handsprings, flip into the pool. Okay scores, not as good as the jocks. Judges are not quite as impressed. And things just descend from there kind of.
Yeah, the thing is they don't tell you the scores until the end, so we're not really sure if it was close or not. Kind of a little plot hole. I'm trying to ruin this video. I don't think they took it seriously. Just kidding.
Hey everybody, sorry to interrupt the show, but I wanted to thank our Patreon supporters for their support of this show. In the Council of Elders, our emo elder tier, we have Johnny Leftwich of the Steve Johnson's Happy Hour podcast. We've got Andre Prevost, and we've got Jason Carey. Thank you so much for supporting this show, and thank you to everyone in our Patreon. If you'd like to join the club, you can head to patreon.com/reminiscent. In just a couple of days, Pat is going to be driving to my new house in North Carolina to help me move in. We're going to be recording 2 episodes in the new place, and we're going to be doing a video AMA live in person. So if you're hearing this on the date of publishing, you have only 3 more days to get in your AMA questions on our Patreon, and we will answer them all and post the video exclusively in our Patreon. So you can check it out again, patreon.com/reminiscent. If you'd like to check it out, see what we're offering, head to that link. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff coming up, especially now that we live so close to each other. It's very exciting. But there's so many of you to thank. Everyone on our Patreon, we greatly, greatly support you. Thank you all so much. We love you. We love you. We love you. Back to the show.
Okay. They cut back to the performance in the pool and everything. Everyone's going nuts. Thoughts to pointing to your head, like kind of a pounding the right side of your temple when you're talking about lyrics about your head or mental state or brains, etc. Because the bassist leans pretty heavily on that in the video, and I'm not against it. I kind of think it's nice. What do you think?
I think it's expected, but it's always pleasant. I don't know. I think of Basket Case. I think he does quite a bit of that as well.
Okay, so it's kind of like bridge claps at a local show. If you're abusing it, get out of here. But if you're using it in the right way, we're not going to like not like it if you use it the appropriate amount.
Right. I've probably been guilty of it once or twice too, so can't knock it. So who's next? We have another diver.
What's the name of the lead guitarist again?
Oh, Dave, right?
So he walks up, and he is apparently the sex symbol of the group because he spots someone in the crowd, and there's a bit of giving them the eyes. There's a little flirtation. He looks down at his member amidst the flirtation, which I guess was like Anything Goes 2001 type stuff before he does his particular dive. Which was rather forward, but he, I think, also pulls off a good dive. I kind of forget because they stopped keeping score. Like they showed Derek's, they showed the first jock dive, but they really kind of abandoned that and let as many as four, I think, happen before they start like reminding us they're keeping score again.
Right. Because Brown Sound, which I guess is just what he went by, pulls out a slip and slide, which I think is so fucking hilarious to this day.
Yes.
Does a couple front flips, and again that slow motion shot of him in the air, like not tongue physically out. Representative of what position
the
he would be in.
The physics of the dive at all.
Right.
But much love. Quick shout out. Can we get a quick slip and slide shout out?
Ooh,
question mark.
Love them.
Maybe, I don't know. Love them. Yeah. That's my main note for this whole music video. Thoughts on slip and slides in general. That's the most important. Yeah, that's right. Very pro slip and slide.
My dad at his like old house had this big hill. It was like huge. And he got this like industrial plastic sheeting where it was like miles long, but it was like 4 feet wide. And they put it all down the hill and then ran the hose, and we would slide dude so fast and so fucking far down this hill. And it was like the best time ever, but he had well water, so we could only do it for a couple minutes.
Oh, nice.
But slip and slides, I with them. And actually, that was our like super lighthearted senior prank, right? Just the last day of school, we didn't go to class. Everyone brought in slip and slides or any tarps or plastic they had. And I have pictures. I might have to reactivate my Facebook to get them, but there's some pretty good pictures of us, the two of us on a slip and slide.
It was pretty lighthearted, I think, because I think the dean even gave us money for Taco Bell or something. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, you guys are keeping it on campus. It's pretty safe. I do remember I had skipped one teacher's class so much to film the classroom which was like our parody of The Office we would put on like the closed circuit night TV channel in the building. That she had like wanted to let me know she was displeased with it, I think is what this was. But she was like, don't ever skip my class again. But it was the last day. I'm like, okay, I won't. And then we all just went outside and did the slip aside. But like, I felt bad because she had been my homeroom teacher for kind of the duration, 3 out of 4 years. Because, well, not the 1 year I was with King TV, but I got kicked off that, which I don't want to tell that story today. But she was like, don't do this anymore. I'm like, okay. But like in 20 minutes, I would never talk to her again. Like that's true now. Right. So it's kind of difficult, but she was a really good teacher. I felt weird kind of like hurting her feelings, I guess, but it was also like, I mean, you can see what's happening out there. I organized this, you know what I mean? Like, where the I'm going. But it is what it is. None of those shenanigans and those and more, I think we talk about sometimes the senior hideout where behind the King TV studio, there was like a dead area, which led to the roof and we won't go into all the stories because we told them on the show before, but we used to play video games back there and stuff. None of that would have been possible if the person who handed out slips to get out of class didn't find our friend Doug exceptionally attractive. Because as soon as he would walk in, it was just like game over. I remember, and I guess I won't name names, but one of our female acquaintances would just slide a stack into her purse, and we'd be set for like years. Think of how many dozens of times I remember one time it was a copy of Swoon, I think, by the Silverstone Pickups, and I wanted to deliver it to a girl I had a crush on, and I walked into class and got her out of class to take her to a fake appointment with, wherever we were getting them out of.
What?
And I remember her thinking that was like a pretty cool move. And, I didn't really have plans to hang out for the rest of the period because I had more to do. I think we were still filming the classroom or whatever. But she was like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know, go home. You're out of class. Like, you are technically legally out of class. So it was actually kind of a weird move. But it wasn't like AP physics or anything. It was like some, performing arts, whatever. Not that the arts are bad. They should be in schools always. You want well-rounded members of society, etc. I am going off on a fucking tangent. Let's just return back. What am I trying to say? Okay, yes, we were slip and sliding. Slip and slides are great. Back to the music video. Sorry about that, everybody.
After his dive, he ascends from the pool doing
that was
his
like
guitar
7
solo.
minutes. You could have stopped me at any point. My bad. I feel very self-conscious. Okay. Reliving. This is a reminiscent program. Okay, let's get back to it. All right.
So Brown Sound comes out of the pool with his guitar, rips a solo, and then just descends back into it. Which
best
I guess
music video solo for us personally ever.
I love it. I always thought it was so fun. I found out today that it's actually a nod to Slash in Guns N' Roses' music video for Estranged, but I think they went too serious with that in the Guns N' Roses video. Sum 41 makes it look way cooler. I always thought it was so funny and cool. That's what I think about most of their videos. They're funny and cool at the same time. Usually you can't get both.
Well, he's a badass guitarist,
Yeah.
I think, first and foremost. Also, this year we lost Eddie Van Halen, who, invented tapping and all that stuff, like legend. I think Chuck Klosterman was on Bill Simmons' podcast talking about how if there's two guitarists from this century or last century that you would have associated with the electric guitar in terms of getting sounds out of it, Eddie Van Halen and Jimi Hendrix would have been the two, I guess. But I would say, through the lens of like rest in peace Eddie, the best use of tapping of any of the songs we talk about on the show, like he comes out of the pool just like shredding. I think by any by any use of that word, any definition, just absolutely shredding. The best tapping solo I think of, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's out of the top 3. Anyway, it's just fundamentally terrific, great homage. Whether Slash was paying homage to Eddie, paying this and that, I'm not saying like tapping, whatever. It was invented and then a lot of people did it. But in terms of our subgenre, you don't see it a ton. But this was a good use of it. It fit with the song. It wasn't forced. It made for one of the most bad music video moments of any of the music videos we talk about, really. I mean, Panic at the Disco, great. All the the bands we talk about. But not all of them are like, let me shred this fucking solo real quick. You know what I mean? Like Sum 41, to their credit, Hour of Power, all that stuff, like Maiden and Priest, that's how we were raised. Like, to their credit, like Panic at the Disco wasn't just going to unleash hell on you for like 40 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, so I think in the spirit of putting respect on the name, like he comes out of that pool ready to fucking rock, face melting type status. So credit where credit's due. That's all.
Not many bands in this genre did solos, and I think that's what made them
I mean,
really
Green Day
interesting.
famously didn't shied away from it, right? Like some of that pop punky stuff.
Just
but
a couple
I think
power chords. Yeah,
the punk
Octaves,
joke is like
actually.
you sell out when you learn to play your instrument type stuff. So not to steal too many headlines from the hard times or anything like that. But I just credit where credit's due. That fucking rocked. I don't think there's really any other way to say it.
Let me take us to one of my favorite dives in the video. So their bassist Cone goes up and he's like teeing up for his dive, and then Derek, you see him running up the stairs, and he just kind of tackles him, and they tumble off the platform together, and then they get out of the water and they high five. And I think it's such a beautiful moment because it's like he ruined his competition, ruined his score, but it was just like, yeah, friends, we did a fun thing together, and they just don't give a shit about the score, and they're just having fun. I don't know, man. I always found that
It's a fun dive.
The moment between the two of them where they get up and high five, I always found like adorable. It's like a Troy and Ovid moment to me. Just like
nice.
Stoked to be here with you,
That's when they were definitely one of the main moments they were abandoning the score, keeping by all measures.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple shots of the band. They do a pretty epic, the bassist Cone, there's a sign about we love Cone type stuff. He tosses the bass around his shoulder, which is a move we've discussed on the show before. Tough to pull off.
I want to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, by all means.
So going into the chorus, out of the bridge, he throws the bass backwards over his shoulder, And it looks so effortless. And like watching it, it's like this dude looks too...
Something's telling me. Yeah, it's
he
like
looks
the perfect...
way too nerdy to pull it off.
He's
and
a
then
skinny man.
Just when you're thinking that, he does like the Mark Hoppus posy jump into the last chorus. And it's like, this guy's untouchable. Everything he does just looks perfect.
Yeah, the drummer's pale, the bassist is a stick figure, and it's all just working. Thoughts on inviting the crowd? They hit that final chorus heading in. Thoughts on inviting the crowd up into your playing space to mosh?
You're asking for trouble, man, but I love it.
Yeah, right? But is it technically, quote unquote, by definition, punk to like have no rules, people spitting on each other and back to the roots of punk? Or
I loved how the Chariot opened every show with like, this stage is your stage, this mic is your mic. And it was always like, yeah, people were on the stage more than they were like in the crowd. It makes for a hectic experience, but
yeah, I mean, that's old Mackay stuff, right? Like passing the mic, equal opportunity, everything.
Probably a generation later, but yeah, pretty much.
No, that's what I mean. Like the roots of it, just like, come on in, this space is our, we're going to have a moment together.
Right.
Anyway, not to get too hung up. That's not really the show, but so the drummer comes up and, oh no, the last diver for the opposing team, who are actually good at diving, the crowd straight up blinds that person by reflecting the sun into his eyes. And the score is across the board 4.1s. Nice nod to the band.
Great,
I think the fix is in with the judges because we didn't really see an official score on the whole. I'm going to jump onto my friend's chest, tumble dive, which was fun as
Yeah.
Points for the drummer being pale. Points for the drummer's use of the arm farts, paying homage to the Dangerfield thing. Points for the drummer's showmanship, ripping off his swim trunks to reveal a Speedo right before the dive. So quite the ham. Pretty good backup vocals too. We should note if we're talking about the band. The drummer is a talented boy.
Yeah, the look on his face when he rips the pants off is everything about this video is perfect. I love it.
I feel like he's trying to avoid sun to a certain degree at that point. He's a seriously, as a pale individual ourselves, I think we can speak to that. But then he just straight up pulls off the triple Lindy.
The triple Lindy, Pat.
You want to describe the triple Lindy to our fine listeners?
Sure. So he's up on the very high platform. There's no like springy board. He's doing a handstand. And he ends up from the handstand dropping straight down onto a diving board, a springy one. And you see him landing on it and then flipping like 4 times as he's jumping to the side. Slow motion shots, tucking the knees, crazy look on his face. And he's probably jumping 20 feet off to his right, hits another board, jumps to now a 4th platform, a 3rd diving board, more spins, does a backflip, lands back on the board, and then a double front flip into the pool, nails it, and then immediately the crowd dives into the pool. It's chaos.
Which is one of my favorite things in sports when a crazy upset happens. People rush in the court, rush in the field. The fact that they rush the pool, I think, is really fun. Right. I just really like everything about how the music video ends.
What do you think about the 9.9 from that middle judge there?
It's a triple Lindy, Tom.
Should have been a 10.
Oh well, hey, you lose the Olympic rules. You take the highest and the lowest points, and you scrap them, right, and take the average or whatever.
Oh, so it was still a 10 anyway.
Or I'm not sure that's what the music video rules were, but I don't know. It seems political. It is what it is. I doubt it's in the but he wasn't playing it by the book, Tom. I think we could be safe to say so.
Is there a rule about one diving board at a time?
I would have to assume, but I
Really?
don't know if. I mean, the fix was in because they let the one diver be blinded. Obviously, the crowd was in on it. It was obvious. A little bit of, I think Steve dad. I don't know if you want to bleep the last name, but whenever we'd go down at an opposing soccer team's field, he'd be like, "Smells like home cooking," to the refs. Like as if they were local dads of the athletes. doing bad calls on purpose or whatever. So it was home cooking, even though it was filmed in California. I think the diving takes place somewhere in Ontario. I'm almost sure of it, but no, just kidding. I don't know. The 9.9, I can live with it.
All right. Well, I would like to think that in the Olympics, you were allowed to utilize as many boards in one dive as you wanted to.
I would like to think it too. That's fun as hell.
But, everyone's so shocked. Even the judges are diving into the pool off the table, and it just ends. Everyone's stoked. No more jokes at the divers, the pros' expense, just everyone there having a good time with their favorite band. Incredible. Such a feel-good video. Sure, maybe a couple moments here and there don't really fit the 2020 climate, but feel-good vibes. One of my favorite videos. I still get so stoked watching it. Doesn't matter how many times in a row I watch it. Couldn't get my speakers up loud enough. So All the Small Things is my favorite song of all time, and I love the music video. I think this might have to even top that video. I'm not sure what my favorite video of all time might be.
There's no way that's actually true.
What?
There's no way that's true. I just think, knowing you, I don't think you feel that way, but it's possible. It's a good video. They're both good.
These might be 1 and 2, actually, for my favorite videos of all time. But definitely easily top 10 songs of all time, probably even 5. Sum 41 is an incredible band that, unfortunately, I really only knew this, like, mostly the singles from, because when I was discovering them, it was still like LimeWire days, and I kind of just got what I got. They have such a huge catalog that I feel like I owe it to myself to go back and try to rediscover or just discover a lot of their songs I've never heard. But when you have In Too Deep and Fat Lip and stuff, like, I could listen to those 2 songs as the last 2 songs ever here until the day I die, and I'd still be happy. So I don't know.
So
man.
You don't even want to do a Desert Island album? You just give me 2 Sum 41 songs and I'll be good?
Honestly, I would be good. I might politely request more, but if it was a solid no, I'd stick with it.
Well, if one of the albums was the Cheater by the Dozen soundtrack, you'd be good to go. So. Do you want to do some songs of the week?
I've got a couple, man. Let me find.
I took 2 a couple weeks ago. If you have 2, I'll just let those be the 2, because I think you're about to mention Julian Baker, and I'm all here for that as well. So I'll just let you have. I'll let you have the floor, because I would just be repeating you. So yeah, you have the floor, my guy.
All right, Julian Baker put out a song today, like a full band song that was really incredible. The album doesn't come out until 2021, but the song Faith Healer, really great music video. And this was, I took a screenshot of it. The cards that come up on YouTube block the entire cast list for this video, the entire cast and crew. Insanity. But Julian Baker is a treasure. We must protect her at all costs. Really excited to hear new music from her. And then, oh god damn it! It was did you have a new song or not? Because I'm gonna pick one from like 2 years ago. In addition,
yeah, I got one.
All right,
yeah, give me That Emotion by Hannah Georges. Very smooth, very nice. I like it a lot. We were digging for songs of the week a couple weeks ago, and I found like ones that Julian Baker would have trumped everything and anything and everything, but I know Tom was going to pick that too, so I didn't just want to be boring about it. But very smooth by Hannah Georges, That Emotion, very nice. I think some of my recommendations lately, depending on the order, have been a little calmer, needing my getting away from the screen time calmness, I guess, must be shining through. But yeah, I like it a lot.
All right. I'm also going to throw in there, State Champs did a cover of Real World.
You were going to say it anyway? I pulled out my phone for nothing.
No, I was still going to say it. I was just looking I couldn't remember the name. State Champs a couple years ago put out a cover of Real World by Matchbox 20, and it's so good. And it came with a shot-for-shot remake of the music video. State Champs is like one of my favorite bands of the genre currently, and that song Real World, I always really loved it growing up, and it was cool to hear. They were pretty true to the original, but they put a little bit of like pop punk flair on it.
For as many people in the world that wear their hat backwards, to kind of just be the guy that does that in a genre where it's super common is weirdly impressive to me. Just like, oh yeah, that's the stage. Like he's branded himself by doing something that almost everybody does. It's like, oh my God, how did the did this happen? But it works, and good for that guy. His name's Drew, I think. But yeah, Real World, got to be in my personal top 50. I'd have to assume. I've never really made the list, but
super good.
I don't think any cover would be bad. It's just a terrific song.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we have to end this episode.
Yeah.
Which that part could be left in, me asking that question. What do you guys think? What do you think? Tweet at us at _reminiscent.fm if we should have ended this a while ago. Actually, we kept this one pretty tight for as much as we love it.
I know.
It just kind of came out of us. We're like Ben Gibbard writing a song. It just channeled the energy that was going to come out anyway. We've been doing this episode our whole lives.
Wait, let me drag it out a little bit more because here's a fun fact, fast fact that I forgot to include. This song was written, okay, so Derek was living with his parents when he was 18. Brownstown was the only one that drove, and he was like famously late being anywhere. So he was going to be picking up Derek at his parents' house, and he was waiting for him by the window, just kind of like strumming away on a guitar, waiting. And he wrote this song while he was looking out the window, waiting to be picked up. And it was just another one of those effortless songs that came out of nowhere. Pretty low effort, it seems like. The world's unfair sometimes.
Sometimes you just know. Songwriters have the gift, man. You're just like, yeah, and you can't just write unlimited great songs, obviously. But sometimes if you're a good songwriter, it just comes to you. You're just like oh yeah, it's a song about drowning, but I got the chorus comes together. You're like, you know what? Yeah. And then you get in the car with your best friend who's going to write the great solo for it. You're just like, hey, this is great. I wish we could do this all the time. Obviously it's not that easy, but yeah, pretty fun, pretty good. I do enjoy those stories more than anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, I love you, man. I'm glad we got to talk about the video. I'm sad we never got to play it in our own band. And I love you all. Hit us up on Twitter. And we'll talk to you next week with the Scrubs draft.
Oh, whoa. We do have an order. That was a fun one. I remember that one. Seems so long ago that we recorded it. Just kidding. We'll be exiting the vault soon, everybody. Thanks for bearing with us. Tom, I hope you drive safe on your move. Thanks for everyone for hanging in our Tom's About to Move series of In the Vault recording sessions. Love to you all. Love you, Tom. And I will talk to you very soon.
All right. Bye, everyone. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please hit us up on Twitter at _reminiscentfm. Let us know your thoughts on this music video. Is it one of the greatest of all times? Is it better than All the Small Things? And please check out this week's sponsor, American Thrills. Their song is coming up. Check them out in the show notes for this episode, reminiscentpodcast.com/episode/198. We'll talk to you all next week. We love you so much. Bye, everyone.
checking out. Now we're just regular blokes around town. We were the punks, your mother